So racism has always been expensive. It's always been expensive. It's just, they always thought that they would have the fee. They always thought they would have the fee, and hell, for a good minute they did. They had the fee to give. See, the problem is now they don't have the fee. They don't have the fee, so it's becoming a problem. And rather than stop trying to pay the fucking fee, y'all will literally kill yourselves and kill the reputation of this country, of this nation, trying to pay a fee that y'all should have been stopped paying. Okay? Y'all should have been stopped paying. When colleges went from being tuition free to tuition based in 1960s, in the 1960s, that was all because y'all couldn't stop us from getting educated anymore, so you wanted to put a roadblock in there. You wanted to make it harder for us. We didn't have the capital like you guys did, so you added tuition. The reason why America doesn't have universal health care is because that means everybody would have access to it, that including people like me and you. And they don't want that. They thought that they would always have surgery money. They thought that they was always going to have outpatient care money. You understand? Private doctor money. Hell, I'm not going to an office. I can always have them come to me. That's what they thought they was always going to have. And as they started to see that they were losing leverage, rather than stop paying the fee for racism, they said, bitch, here, take my arm, take my leg, take my organs. To the point where you guys are where you are today. Still trying to pay a fee. Going out of your way to pay a fee. That literally is killing you. It's killing you. And then now that you're starting to realize that y'all really did fuck around a little bit too much, you want my pretty black ass to get up out of my seat to come and fight for you? Oh, you're fucking stupid. Oh, you're beyond stupid. You're beyond my pretty self. You see me? Y'all see my brothers and sisters? They fine too. We supposed to get up out of our seats? Up out of our beds? And I heard a white woman literally said, black people, stay where you are. I would never take no advice from white people unless it was on how to be selfish, because that's the only thing that I think that they can give. However, this white lady said, do not get up out of your seats. You want to know why? They want us to get out and be in the streets so that now they can plot to kill us. Us doing exactly what we're doing. Like, this is why they so hot. This is why they 50 degrees. Like, they hot because they wanted us to come out there so that we could be fucking sitting ducks. Especially considering they done seen how fucking expensive racism is now. But it's always been like that. Y'all just didn't care because y'all had...
Man, I tell you what, nothing makes racist white people more pissed off than me, a white person, trying to educate about racism and trying to educate about what white privilege is and all these things. And it's so funny because these same people will argue with me till they are blue in the face about how they're not racist and we don't live in a racist institution and black and brown people have it so easy and racism doesn't exist anymore. But then they will turn around and say the most racist, ignorant, vile shit you've ever heard in your life. The disconnect is amazing. And this is why I make content like this, because it's so important, because we do live in a racist institution and we are all raised in racism as white people. This is simply a fact. And the crazy part about it is every one of us knows this. Even the ones who will sit there and fight with me to the death about it and act like it doesn't exist. Y'all know white people are racist. Y'all know about the casual racism, the casual microaggressions that we are raised in, no matter where we live in this United States of America. And this is why I will never stop. I will never stop trying to educate as a white person about racism and how we need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to do better. It's almost as if they feel like admitting to a racist institution or admitting to racism makes them this evil, terrible person. And so they would rather double down than to grow and be a good person. And that's so bad, because all that says to me is that you have a small mind and a cowardly soul. And I wish better for you than that, truly, because everything in your life will get better when you stop being so ignorant.
I need someone to get me to Korean TikTok, because I just came across a content creator's page by the name of, I think it's Kimchi Cakes. And she said the Koreans know who that Tory lady is who called ICE on the people at Hyundai. Mind you, if she was really concerned about the working conditions, she would have called OSHA. You are racist, okay? And all the people that are defending her, racist, okay? But Miss Kimchi Cakes said the Koreans are tearing her up over in Korea, and I want to see them comments. I want to see it. I need to see it. I don't understand when y'all are going to learn that racism is expensive monetarily and like overall, just like your well-being, your state. Because I went over to Tori's page. She looked bad. She looked bad. She know, you could tell in them videos that she's posting where she's trying to backpedal. Oh, she knows she done fucked up. And that's what she get. That's what she get. Same with the farmers in Arkansas. Mind you, my degree, I came from the School of Ag. So I had to learn about like the farm bill and other government like plans and policies. And I knew when that man came into office that all of them people who had them farms we're gonna be screwed. And the fact that I saw, I think it's called like Now This Video, and them people were in that town hall meeting crying out for help. And I'm like, what did y'all think was gonna happen? No, you knew what was gonna happen, but you thought the rest of us, we were going to suffer, but you didn't think you were gonna suffer. Now you're losing farms. One lady said they're going to have to sell the farm, and her son was supposed to be the 7th generation. Racism sucks for everybody, not just us.
I have watched my 3rd video of YT people crying on this internet because they own Red Note, and they've learned how expensive it is to be a racist corporation nation. That is what the U.S. is. And all these people keep saying, one girl just said she got $450,000 worth of student loan debt to become a lawyer. And it costs like $800 to go to law school a year in China. A year, y'all. So let me give y'all a little bit of a history lesson for my YT people who are just awakening to the world that Black people have told y'all has existed since they so-called let us go, right? We have told you racism is expensive. It's so expensive because you guys used to have free college. Racism brought about college being the cost that it is. We could never get to free universal health care because Black people would receive it. Racism is expensive. You guys got rid of all of the free parks and pools and programs once the Civil Rights Act was passed. This was America's downfall. The Civil Rights Act. Being civil was y'all downfall. And y'all crying on the internet for what? We told you. You had to go to China. Your citizens, your fellow citizens, because you never paid attention and you never really saw us as fellow citizens. So you had to get somebody in China to tell you, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. This is unacceptable. You shouldn't accept it. You shouldn't tolerate it. No, you needed someone else to tell you. How does it feel to know your country bet on racism over everything else? Technology advancement. China looks like a futuristic movie, but it ain't the futuristic movie. It's reality. And we are in an oligarchy, right? Oligarch. And, well, not we. Because I find it so funny. A lot of these videos, all of these creators get on here talking about some we. They all speak French now. Because Black people have been known this. And every time I see one of those videos, I'm commenting, Black people told you this for centuries, that this was wrong, that being able to just completely control people, ignore their rights as citizens was dangerous territory. And because it wasn't happening to you, or you thought it wasn't happening to you, because I don't know, y'all ain't never been on a plane to another country to prove that America isn't the greatest nation on earth.
Americans in real time are about to figure out how expensive racism actually is, if they have not already, okay? Because we are about to go into unprecedented times, all right? And we about to pay a hefty price. That woman calling ICE on those Koreans lost 9,000 jobs in Atlanta. 9,000 jobs just because she wanted to be racist and bragged about it. All these farmers complaining about losing business, losing money. They're about to lose their family farms. Well, guess what? Take it away. Because when y'all could have voted against this, y'all voted for it. Inflation, taxes, job losses. We have more unemployed people than jobs. We are about to figure out how expensive being racist actually is. Y'all was cool when y'all was benefiting from the program, but y'all think y'all above the program, and I'm here to tell you that you are not. Congratulations.
Black American folk, what many of you all need to understand is that we are surrounded by folk who love to see us suffer. Absolutely. That's what this nation has been built on. Dick Gregory wrote that the United States of America excels in oppressing black folk. Sure does. And all of this pushback that we black Americans are getting because we are exhibiting pride in our shared history, in our shared heritage, in our shared traditions and our shared pains and struggles is Exhibit A. Black pride and black joy pisses a whole lot of folk off. And in over 400 years, they have never had the self-awareness to ask themselves why. That's because it's been ingrained in them. It's been indoctrinated in them to derive pleasure and satisfaction from seeing us suffer. Let's take our experience on this app and all over social media. We Black Americans have conversations among our own community. We are uplifting each other. We are encouraging each other. We are edifying each other. We are informing each other. And you will get people making videos and in our comments upset and pissed off about it. And that is because they have been indoctrinated and raised in a white supremacist society. Dr. Joy DeGruy talks about this. How can you have a group of folk who for hundreds of years into the present day exuded almost total control over other human beings? They could do anything to another human being and wouldn't be held accountable for it and got off on it. This is going to piss off a whole lot of folk, but I'm specifically talking about people who are in interracial relationships where one of the partners is Black American. And it's come out now that these folks, some of them like to role play slave and master. We better recognize that important fact that we live in a nation that enjoys Black American pain and suffering. When we celebrate Black achievement, it causes them a visceral reaction. That's why Black communities like Seneca Village in New York, where Central Park is now, and Rosewood, and Tulsa, the Greenwood District, and countless others, the drowned towns, were destroyed because Black people were not supposed to build something of our own, which we have always done and continue to do, contrary to popular belief, and then thrive and be successful. It pisses folk off. They will do anything but look in the mirror and ask themselves why. Well, you all say nigger. Not all of us do. We're not a monolith. In rap music, you say it. Why can't we say it? But they don't have the courage to look in the mirror and ask themselves, why do I want to say a slur? Why do I want to say a word that has so much historical weight to it? Whether the community that it was directed against says it or not, why do I want to participate in that? We are surrounded by folk who have compromised their humanity to the point where they almost have none. And the sooner we truly understand that, the better off we'll be, y'all. Y'all be careful out here.
I vote for a name change. We should stop calling it white supremacy and start calling it white narcissism. And I'm going to tell you why. I was reading a book called Fear of Black Consciousness by Lewis Gordon, and something clicked so hard, y'all, I had to put the book down because I just needed a minute to process. Because a lot of what we describe as supremacy doesn't actually look like confidence or dominance. It looks like insecurity. It looks like fragility. It looks like people losing their minds the second they're not centered. And that's not supremacy, that is narcissism. Yeah. So let me explain what I mean. Malignant narcissism is basically when entitlement, lack of empathy, and obsession with control mixed with aggression. It's not just, I think I'm great. It's, I deserve to be centered, obeyed, deferred to. And if I'm not, somebody has to pay. So now let's look at the real world, right? Why does somebody lose it when a Black person talks about racism? Why does teaching accurate history feel like a personal attack? Why does someone crash a conversation about police violence and make it about their feelings? Why does equality feel like oppression? That's not the behavior of someone who's secure in power. That's the behavior of someone whose identity only works if everyone else stays small. Lewis Gordon talks about how whiteness gets treated as the default for being human. So when Black people speak from our own experiences, it feels like a disruption, like we're making it about race, even though race was already baked in. Everything is about race, everything. And that's where the narcissism shows up. Because narcissistic systems don't just want dominance. They want validation. They want to be admired, obeyed, and never questioned. Look at the examples. A Black athlete kneels quietly, and it's a national meltdown. Black students ask for inclusion, and it's, why are they dividing us? I say that ICE is actually modernized slave patrols. And I get white people in my comments who admittedly do not have Jewish ancestry saying, no, ICE is a Gestapo. Shut the f. That's not supremacy acting calm and assured. That's narcissism reacting to a loss of control. Malignant narcissism can't handle criticism. It can't handle boundaries. And it definitely can't handle being told you're not the center of this story. That's why the reaction is always rage, denial, or rewriting reality. And Lewis Gordon points out something really important. When people insist that their behavior is just human nature, what they're really doing is universalizing themselves. Everyone is like me. Everyone thinks like me. So if you don't, you're the problem. That is textbook narcissism. And once you see it in that way, it just makes so much more sense, right? Why equality feels like theft. Why accountability feels like persecution. Why diversity feels like erasure. Why Black consciousness is treated like danger instead of awareness. This system doesn't freak out because it's losing power. It freaks out because it's losing attention. So yeah, I'm voting to change the language because white supremacy sounds like strength. And what we're dealing with is actually a system that can't survive without admiration, dominance, and silence from everyone else. That's not supremacy, y'all. That is white narcissism. And once you name it that way, the behavior stops being confusing. It becomes predictable.
This is the thing. Bashar told y'all that if that man was going to win, he was going to start World War III. He said this. And if you don't know who Bashar is, there's a man by the name of Daryl Anka who channels a sentient being who's about 3,000 years ahead of us. And he said, if that man wins, he is going to start World War III. He said this. But this is the caveat to what's happening right now. Unfortunately, that man is necessary. He has to be the president right now because he has to make the shit crumble. He has to bring to the surface all the shit that is wrong with America. He is a manifestation of what this country was fucking built on. So he is doing what he was designed to do. He was doing what he was created to do. If that lady would have won, unfortunately, we would have been okay with the status quo. But guess what? The system was still fucking broken. So now we have someone who is going to show you all the shit that is wrong with the system. And the people who thought they used to benefit from the system are going to see that the system never served them either. It played in their faces. You thought that your whiteness made you better. No, you're broke. You're broke and white. You're broke and white. And so now what? You realize the shit don't benefit you. It don't benefit you because he wasn't running for you. He was running for his billionaire buddies to make them more money. Because he is here to show America what it was built on, which is corruption, which is greed, okay, which is narcissism, which is power, which is control. That's what this country was built on. Colonization and going into other people's countries and taking from them. That's what this country was built on. And now all of a sudden, he told y'all what the fuck he was going to do, and y'all still voted for his ass. But that's okay because it shows where we were as a collective consciously. And he had to win so you could see yourself, so you can see what you voted for, so you can see a fractal of who you were. Now, I'm not talking about the 92%, amen? But we know who I'm talking about, amen? And so now you gotta deal with this shit. Now you gotta see yourself. Now you gotta see the system that you perpetuated. Now you gotta see the system that you created. Good fucking job. And now when you come on this internet and you say, oh my God, forgive me, I voted for him for 3 times, make sure that you are spending the rest of your life making up for the decisions that you made. This shit was necessary. America is going through a cleansing process, and now America finally gets to see itself. Now people get to stop acting like black people and people of color who's been saying this country been fucked up since day one was just whining. Y'all get to actually see this shit for what it is. It's been fucked up. Welcome to the club.
I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. I've been trying for a while now to figure out how to talk about something that's been on my mind, and recent events, I think, finally pushed it up. What I want to say is that racism is a white people problem. A white people problem that others are forced to live with. As a white man, I've never had to be afraid of being pulled over by the cops. As a white father, I've never had to have that special talk with my kids about not looking wrong or saying the wrong thing to a cop for fear that they wouldn't come home again. I've never had to worry about being turned down for a mortgage because of the color of my skin or where to go jogging. Never had to worry that I could be scooped up by ICE just for looking like I might belong to the wrong group, even though I was born here. I've never committed the misdemeanor crime of selling cigarettes. But if I did, it wouldn't be a capital offense. These are things that people of color have to deal with every stinking day. These are things that white people allow, that white people cause. I think I'm finally ready to talk about it now because of the state that our country's in, the permission that Donald Trump has given for racist behavior, and the hope I recently felt when I saw the latest poll numbers. For reasons that never made sense to me, Donald Trump has gained support in nearly every demographic when he won his last election, including non-white communities. But now, recent polling suggests that just about everybody is finally seeing him for what he is. They're seeing his racism, and the racism emanating from this administration like stink from a skunk. And they're saying it's not okay. He's lost everything that he gained, and then some, among all these groups. Well, every group except one. That one group is white, non-college educated men, the last stronghold of Trump's race-based politics. Polling indicates that a majority of this group is still standing solidly behind Trump and his policies. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be any better off under Trump's policies than anybody else. Maybe one day they'll realize that their racism isn't worth what they're losing. And maybe the rest of us will realize something too, that racism is a white people problem, and it's up to white people to solve it. It's up to white people to call it out among their coworkers, their friends, and their family. It's up to white people to be the loudest and proclaim that racism is no longer acceptable in American institutions. It's up to white people to make sure that we're not voting for the racists. Thanks for listening. Good day.
So guys, I do not think that white people actually realize how costly being a racist is. I do not think they realize how expensive racism is for, as a matter of fact. And yeah, you have watched the video, you have heard these people and what they are saying, their thoughts about racism. And they're talking about all these things that are happening. Racism affects you as much as it affects the white people. And since they are the biggest partakers of that, I wonder how hard it is for them to just stop, because why are you bothering so much about something that is hurting you too? Look at, for example, the ones that have lost their farms and they're losing profits. Yeah. They were racist and they thought that they can function without black people. it is now occurring to them that it is not possible. They actually need black people. They are unable to even admit that. Yeah? They are unable to admit it because when they were talking about, the mass deportations, for example, they did not have that in mind. They did not think of everything that these people do for them at a very low cost. They pay them peanuts, yeah? They fully take advantage of these people because they know that they are not documented. They have no one to fight for them. They have nowhere to report, They would not be willing to report because once you do that and you do not have documents, you're going to be deported. And that's why they took advantage of those people. Now, for someone that can take advantage of someone like that, you're paying someone, I don't know, some $1 to $7. What do you even mean? Like, how do you expect this person to live? But for someone that is comfortable to do that, just know that they are comfortable to do a lot more in the dark than you think. Racism has cost white people a lot of things. For example, the lady that is talking about education, for instance, education would have been free, but since they are racist, they want to introduce fees, just to make a difference, to separate people so that there is white and then there is black. Yeah, they want that evidence, that cut to be very clear. Yeah, as they do that, they fail to understand that this is also working against them. It is very expensive to be a racist because there's a lot of things that you need from black people, and you're going to miss out on that simply because you have chosen to, be racist. And you hate someone just because of the color of their skin, not their intellect, not their prowess. You're not paying attention to all that. You're not even trying to figure if these people, how they carry themselves around, how they conduct themselves, how they do their jobs. You're judging someone's abilities or inabilities, capabilities, simply because you're looking at the color of their skin. I mean, there's nothing that is as ridiculous as racism because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that you can judge someone by simply looking at them. And, you're not even paying attention to their qualifications, You don't mind that. You're not caring how this is going to affect you economically. You need black people. I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but you need them. You need black people for your businesses to even prosper. You need black people for your businesses to run because these are the people that actually work for you. White people are so, you know, they have this double standard that I do not like. If you're talking about a black person being all the bad things that they keep talking about black people, and you're so sure and certain that you do not want to associate with these people, then make sure that everything else that is associated with black people you do not use. We did a video here on the black inventions and the things that black people have invented over time. It was about more than 10,000 inventions, serious inventions. There's more, and white people were furious about it. If you have not watched that video, you can consider looking for it. It's basically just talking about the black inventions. Yeah, you will see it. White people were annoyed, furious about it because they have stolen the black people inventions and named it as their own. They have stolen patents from black people and owned something that they did not invent. But they do not want to hear that, they have hidden that in their history. So much so they think black people do not even know these things. Black people choose to be calm, they just choose to not say anything, but they know these things. Black people are excellent humans, and that is evident. Look at, for example, President Obama. Look at what he did for America. Look at the situation that was when President Obama was in power, and look at the situation right now. People are crying a lot more these days than they used to that time. And to add salt to injury, President Obama was not a black people's president. He wasn't. He wasn't a black people's president. He knows that being elected as president, the minute you win the elections, the minute you're sworn in, you're the people's president and you have to act as that. And he did exactly that. He looked at all Americans as equal. He knew that him being in power meant that he has to take care of every single person, regardless of whether they're white or black or whatever color. Yeah? He had that in mind and he knew that that is the presidential thing to do. Look at his speeches, how he addressed people. He's born an orator. He doesn't struggle around that. He just does it flawlessly, yeah? And that is black excellence for you. Now, when white people see that, they are uncomfortable about it because what is comfortable for them is finding fault with black people. Black people are violent. Black people are, not hardworking, very lazy, yeah? Black people are this and that. That is their joy, yeah? Whenever they see something trend of a black person in some kind of fight with the police officer, they will make it trend the whole world because they want to pass a certain narrative for them to look as though they are the clean ones. They have a lot of people that need to be in jail right now and they're not. A lot of people, including that one that you're thinking about. He needs to be in jail, but he's reigning. White people have that kind of discomfort, and I'm glad that black people know this, and they know where it's stemming from. They hate to see a black person win. They hate to be defeated in anything at all by black people, because to them black people are not humans, or at least not full humans. And that is racism. Racism is affecting black people. Big deal. Missed opportunities, a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of torture psychologically. But in as much as it's affecting black people, it is affecting white people as well. More reason why any sane person would be asking themselves, why then must you do this? Why do you have to keep up with something that is hurting you? You have to live in pretense. You have to keep proving to people that you're white and you're better than black people. You have to live extravagant lives. You have to buy the most expensive cars. You have to overwork yourself because you want to pass the narrative that you're better than black people. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself more than you're hurting the other person by just, something that would easily be solved by you looking at everyone else as equals and acting as such. Simple. Guys, if you're watching me for the first time, my name is Furaha and I'm glad to have you on my channel today. I am kindly requesting you to subscribe to my channel. If you're not very well acquainted with what we do here, kindly go to the videos on my channel, watch some of them, and if you like that kind of content, you can consider subscribing to my channel and join this part of the amazing family on YouTube. And returning subscribers, thank you so much. I will not stop thanking you because you have brought me this far, guys. We are at 10,000 subscribers right now. I can't even believe it. Saying it out loud feels like it's not even true. So guys, road to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for this far, and I know that we're going even further. I hope that you're also keeping safe and making sure that your family, friends, everyone is okay. Check on them. Yeah, just make a point to check on your people. Just make sure that someone is at least having a good day. And I love you guys so much. I will see you on my next video. So bye for now.